All right, question 34 here says, Elena has decided to run the Buffalo Half Marathon in May. She researched training plans on the internet and is looking for two possible plans, Jillian's 12-week plan and Josh's 14-week plan. The number of miles run per week for each is plotted below. So the first question here says, which of the following plans follows an arithmetic pattern? And explain how you arrived at your answer. Well, this is a very simple question here. An arithmetic pattern means that you have to be adding by the same number to get from one term to the next. So that means it has to follow a linear pattern here. And in this case, the only one that follows that linear pattern or straight line is Jillian's plan. So Jillian's plan, because it is linear. And you are simply increasing your miles by, we're going from 10 to 11 to 12 by 1 mile each week. Okay. The second part of this here says, write a recursive definition to represent the number of miles each week for the duration of the plan you chose. Okay, so to write a recursive model here, we first have to state what our initial condition is, or what the first term is. So a sub 1, in this case, is going to be 10. And then all I'm doing for each one of these is I'm just adding 1 to the term before it. So to find any term, I take the term before it, a of n minus 1, and I'm just going to add 1 in this case. Alright, and then the last thing here says Jillian's plan has an alternative if Elena wanted to train instead for the full 26-mile marathon. Week 1 would start with 13 and follow the same pattern for the half marathon, but it would continue for 14 weeks. So write an explicit formula in simplest form to represent the number of miles run each week for this. So it follows the same pattern here. So like 1 would be 13 here, then 2 would be 14. And then if I also went backwards at 0, then it would have been 12. And the reason why I'm going to do this is when we're going to be writing our explicit formula here, what we want to be doing is really writing it semi-similar to the form y equals mx plus b. But instead, what we're doing is we're doing a of n. Our slope here, you can see if I figure out the slope between any 2 points is just 1. 14 minus 13 over 2 minus 1 is 1 over 1. So my slope is just 1. And instead of x, we're using n in this case, so 1n. And then the b value is where you start. So here we're going to get 12. So in this case here, my explicit formula is just an equals n plus 12. And there you go.